Okay. Well, I am going to start. You get a one-on-one here if no one else comes in, which is super great. I want to share something really awesome with you.
Good. I'm excited. Oh, I can get my notebook out here.
I'm going to pull it up. Oh, right. Okay. So I always like to start my calls out with a win. So do you have any wins to share?
I would say my one win this week was just, contacting some people about doing some speaking engagements. So,
Oh, yeah. What are you doing?
and
What
so
are you saying? Like,
just this morning, sending out some emails and contacting people and that kind of good stuff. So yeah, that was exciting. I mean, that was good.
that's amazing. Yeah, I always just ask, I mean, I'm sure you're doing, I don't know if you're doing this, but I always just say who's in charge of booking outside speakers. And then when I reach out to them, I say, I would love to chat with you about the possibility of speaking and adding value to your organization. I think that from what I know about you and your organization, I think that what I have to share can add value to them. And I would love to discuss that with you. That's usually what I say.
Okay.
Or, I am a professional speaker. You just say that you are, and you say, I would welcome the opportunity to explore how I can add value to your organization.
Okay.
I would welcome the opportunity to discuss how I can add value to your organization. Yeah. People are always looking for outside speakers.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, in fact,
when they say, what do you speak on? You say what you make up what you want to speak on. And then you say, and I am open, of course, to crafting a unique message based on your needs.
Okay.
Yeah. But most of the time, I've never had them really say that. Most of the time, they're like, well, that sounds great. Whatever you just said sounds great. Okay, cool. Well, keep me updated. That's super exciting. Yeah, you're going to just completely get into massive momentum once you start speaking regularly.
I'm excited about that. I'm ready.
Yeah, you love it. And so it's like Disneyland, right? So yeah. Super fun. Awesome. Well, I want to talk about ideal client and how that pertains to messaging today. But is there anything particular you want to talk about, Bev?
No, I think that sounds great. I would love that.
Okay, great. I think it's perfect for you anyway. So it's right. Exactly right at the beginning where we want to be anyways. So let me just kind of give you the context of the AMPED business model. And really, business is pretty simple. It's not always easy, but business theory, business design, business stages, the pillars of a successful business, they pretty much all have the same thing. Whether you are a traditional business owner, whether you are a network marketer, whether you are a coach, consultant, speaker, trainer, an entrepreneur, really every business owner needs to do these 5 basic things in the AMPED protocol here, the AMPED business model. And so the first thing we have to do is we have to figure out who is our ideal client and based on that, and there's a whole system, I'll teach you about that. Based on that, that then leads to our very unique messaging. And messaging is just a word for how you show up in the world and how you tell people what you do and how you tell people what problems you solve. And when you have really good messaging, you get what I call the lean in of the like, tell me more, or let me give you my credit card right now. It's, really good messaging can have that effect, right? Or when can I get started? That's the power of really, really good messaging. And then based on that, as a business owner, we figure out what are our products, packages, and pricing. And for coaches, consultants, and trainers and speakers, I really teach to really start out with 2 basic packages that you're going to have, and you can run that to multi-million dollars. So I have 2 programs, and that's what I teach my clients to build, and it's one-on-one and it's a group, and I do that in that order, and we can talk about that more. But I highly recommend people start out with one-on-one because we need to get testimonials. We need to kind of play around in the playground, so to speak, and figure out what we like doing, what our clients are asking from us. We get to find out, oh, I don't really like doing that. I thought I would. And we get to shift. And then we get to create what's our signature offering. And the reason I like to start, and most people in the coaching industry all say this too, to start out with the one-on-one is, one, you make money, which you're going to need to continue to grow your business. And again, you get that really rich feedback and testimonials and transformations. And when you can get one-on-one clients singing your praises, you're going to have a referral source as well. Hi, Judy. Welcome. This is so wonderful. I just want to pause and welcome Judy. Judy, I want you to meet Bev. She's another rock star client of mine. You guys will love each other. You're very similar stages in terms of working with me. Judy's on session 2, I think, right? You're going to be on session 2, Bev?
Right.
Yeah. So we just got started, but we were sharing wins. Do you have a win, Judy, to share with us? Bev is booking speaking gigs, which is awesome. She's a mindset coach and health and wellness, kind of dual layering that in, kind of like you.
Kind of like me. What were my wins? I did give a talk at the chamber last week called Lead. You want to be a better leader, lead yourself first.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. So 11 people signed up, but only 4 came. But the people that work in the chamber office, they were like, will you do that again? That was amazing. So I'm doing it Friday the 13th. Why not?
Oh, congratulations, Judy. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was really good. So,
that's amazing.
yeah, that was a win. So, what else? My little small group my beta group's going really well. So it's awesome. Yeah. So
how did you get the Chamber of Commerce? Because Bev is reaching out. We were just covering that a little bit, reaching out to people to speak.
So I'm a member, and they have this thing called Hot Topics, and it's people that are members can sign up and just talk about anything that would be for entrepreneurs or business owners or whatever. So, this is like my 3rd talk there. So, different topics, but.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I've never spoken for the chamber. Have you, Bev?
No, I have not.
Yeah. So does every Chamber of Commerce have hot topics, or is that just?
I don't know, but I'm sure you could ask.
Okay.
You could speak. Also, Rotary groups are always looking for speakers. I've spoken there. Look for like any kind of women's networking or empowerment groups.
Yeah, we're going to get you on the circuit here, Bev.
Yeah, what I was sending out, one of the emails I sent out today was to the Polka Dot group in Carson.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's great.
You could also, real quick, go ask some chiropractors. I'm actually going to do a meeting tomorrow with a chiropractor, and we're going to do Align and Thrive. So he's going to talk about aligning your spine, and like nervous system, and I'm also going to talk about nervous system, and then also aligning with your purpose.
Oh, I'm copying that with my DNA nutrition company. Thank God I got on the phone call today.
Thank God.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. So anyway, there we go. That's what I'm doing.
Great. Yeah, Rotary. I just booked a speaking gig there. I've never spoken for Rotary. Garth and I are doing our first joint speaking gig on high performance health. So we're kind of doing the Align and Thrive idea.
Right.
So again, all 3 of us are very similar in that integrating health and wellness into being your best you. Funny thing, right? Yeah, no, not.
Funny thing, you can't really be your best you without health and wellness.
No. Right.
One of my mentors said this week, you can't reach massive goals by stepping over your health. You can't reach massive goals by stepping over your health. Like, ooh, that's good. So we're just setting up, I was just setting up the AMPED framework. Thank you for sharing your win, Judy. And I think we've gone over this, Judy, but the AMPED business model is what's in front of you. So we've got AMPED high performance pillars, which is your activated, motivated, productive, energized, and disciplined. But here we're talking about business design and business theory. And really all business is kind of the similar and simple in terms of the theory and design of it. All business owners kind of have to do the same things here. We have to attract our ideal client. We have to create messaging that is just puts you in a league of your own, create your products, packages, and pricing. We've got to talk about enrollment and selling, and then how to duplicate and scale. And sometimes that's duplicate through leadership if you're in an organization, but that's sometimes, duplicating all of your services. So we're going to focus on kind of the A and the M, kind of a combo of that today. And I want to show you a framework that's super, super helpful. And I had my daughter make this amazing slide, so I'm totally legit now. I'm like, how do you do that? And she's like, she whipped it. So, sorry, is that me? Oh, okay. So what I would do with this, what I call the client needs matrix, if we can figure this out for our clients, for our business, we're pretty much going to dial in our messaging from here on out. And remember, our messaging is similar across all forms of marketing. It just is different based on the marketing platform. So based on the client needs matrix, we're all going to have a messaging that we can use in different ways, but it's going to be similar whether we're at a coffee chat, whether we're networking, whether we're doing a 20-minute talk, a 2-hour workshop, a 3-day live event, a webinar. You get the point. It's the same kind of messaging once we figure out this client needs matrix. So what I often do is I make 3 columns on a sheet of paper. And so I might make 3 columns. The first column is problems. The second is aspirations. And then this third column is this false solution versus real solution. Sorry, I gotta let my dog out here. So let's start out with the first problem, the first column, problems. Now, I want us to really think about what words do our clients say their problems are. And also, I want to say that this kind of client needs matrix is always being massaged as you go. So I remember I told Judy this. I hired a coach recently, and I'm like, if I have to do another ideal client exercise, like I'm out. Like put me in front of a car. Like I was just like, I was joking. But I was like, I can't do it, But this is different. And he said, trust me, this is different. But I also realized that it's always shifting a little bit as you work with your clients and as you get better in your skills and as new data comes in and as the marketplace turns, the client needs are going to shift. And so know that this is like a breathing, living organism, that you don't have to nail it just once and for all and just get it right for everybody, that you can massage it as you go. And when you listen with the ears of your business, you're going to hear your clients say things that you're like, oh, I never would have thought to put it that way. I never would have thought that they are saying the problem in business is me. I would have probably never thought of that on my own until I started asking my clients, what's your biggest challenge of being an entrepreneur? And they all kind of came back, me. And I was like, that's really good messaging. So these are the problems. We can think about these 3 categories. What are their fears? Like, what are they really afraid of? So my clients are afraid that it's never really going to happen, that they've invested all this time and it's just never really going to happen. They're afraid that if it doesn't happen soon, they're going to have to go back to a job or figure something out because their husband's saying or their wife is saying, like, come on, like enough's enough, right? They're afraid. They're afraid the dream's never really going to happen. Like that's one of their fears. Frustration. They're frustrated. I'm putting in 12 to 14 hours a day, and I don't feel like my results are indicative of that. I've heard them say that, right? And then challenge. Okay, I hear all the things I need to do. I need to do a webinar, a funnel, an email list, LinkedIn, social media, speaking. Oh my God, what should I do? I've gone from coach to coach to coach. There's so many things I'm not really getting success and a groove in anything. So let's pause there for a second and just brainstorm. And again, really focusing on what they say, not what we think they say. Like they're not saying things like, I just want financial freedom. I just want to live in my authenticity. Like they're not saying that. We can use that at times. We're going to use that in our methodology. We're going to tell them things they didn't even know. The problem you're not reaching 6Ks is because of authenticity. Like we're going to tell them what they need to learn, but they're not lying in bed like, I just wish I could live my ideal self. I wish I was in congruence with my ideal self. Like they're not. They're like, where's the money? You know, where's the clients? So I will pause there. Either of you want to chat about that? What you've noticed or what you're struggling with in terms of the problems, or do you feel like you got it nailed?
Yeah, I like this.
Thank you.
I think I still challenge, what are my clients saying their problem is, because I'm still in that issue, but this does feel a lot more doable than picking an avatar.
Oh my God.
And what magazine does she read?
I know. And this is where niching is. Niching is, what are their problems? That's actually the niche.
Yeah.
I've talked to both of you about that. Most often, that's often the niche. So, Judy, are your people saying, so Judy's we'll tell her your XYZ kind of statement.
Don't even have that, though. What is my XYZ kind of statement?
I help blank to blank.
Yeah. That's where we were last time. So, I help driven, accomplished entrepreneurs and professionals to realize that they don't need more achievement, they need more alignment. So that they can be happy, healthy, worthy. I don't know. I didn't get the whole thing. So anyway, we're somewhere in there.
Yeah. And we're going to work on, all of us, we're going to work on being, thank you, Judy, for sharing. Like, oh my gosh. We're going to work on also adding in some conversational kind of tones to it. So, right. So Judy might add, I don't know if you've ever felt like this, but usually high achievers think that in order to get to the next level in their life or their business, that they need to achieve more. They need to do more. They're really, really good at doing. And actually, the reason they're falling short is because that's not the problem at all. The problem is they're not aligning. What was the part about alignment, Judy?
They're not aligning with they're not aligning with what who they really are. Like that, they kind of they've lost track of who they are because they've been achieving to get their worthiness, achieving to get validation, achieving to feel worthy.
Yeah.
And, right. Yep. But instead they really need to be alignment with, take away all the stuff so you can find out, who am I really? What do I want? What is my purpose here? All of that.
Yeah. So their problems, their fears, frustrations, and challenges are, they might say something like, I don't know how I can do anymore. She works with athletes, with people that have accomplished awards. Like, think of high achievers, right? Like, I don't know what else I can earn in terms of an award. I've earned them all. And yet I still don't have this fulfillment that I truly desire.
That was the word,
Is that the
fulfillment.
word? Okay, I thought it was. Okay, good. At least
Yeah.
I'm consistent.
Yeah. I couldn't think of it either. I was like, wait, there's another word.
Yeah.
Something.
And so your full solution, real solution is going to be fun for you, Judy, because we'll get there. But that's their fear is what? They fear. I truly don't know.
They're actually kind of burned out achieving, because it's not like they like you just said, they can't achieve anymore because they're all burned out and they're not fulfilled, and so they're unhappy and disappointment and
that's all. Those are really good. And notice they're very fourth grade level, but look how good they are. That's what that's when they say, like, say it in the way a fourth grader could understand. It's because that's how we really talk about our lives. We're like, I'm stressed out, burned out, tapped out. I want to tap out. It's like I'm overworked and underpaid. They might even
the overachieving, under earning.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm overworked and I'm overachieving, and somehow I feel like I'm underpaid. It's not matching. I should be farther along is probably what they say also. Maybe. No, they think they're farther. No, that's probably not what your people say, Judy. I should feel better about how far I've come. Could be some,
Yeah.
I should feel fulfilled.
Or I should be grateful for all that I have, but it's like there's a part of them that wants, they think they want more, but they really want something else. Like they think they want more. Like I think I want more, like, right? They just think they got to do more, have more, like they think the more, but on the way to the more is really that they're like, oh, that's, because then when they get the more, they're like, this isn't what I wanted.
What did she say, Bev, when I was like, write that down? They think they want more. They
want fulfillment.
But what they really want is, or need, what they really need.
Yeah. But they're unhappy, they're disappointed, they're overachieving, under-earning.
Yep. Okay. That's a good brain dump on that. And we got the replay to go, and there were some nuggets in there that were really good that you said.
But yeah, I think the bottom line, now that you say that, is like the fear, if the fear is frustration and challenges, so the fear is they're just going to have to keep achieving, and yet they know that's not sustainable.
Oh, yes.
Right? That's unsustainable, because they're like, I can't keep doing this. And so, and their frustration is, where is like the satisfaction or fulfillment? Like, where is that piece where I feel like, right? Because they're achieving for all the wrong like reasons, really, which is why I didn't like using the word achievement so much, but it resonates with them. I like the word remarkable. Remember? Remarkable.
I think achievement though, like, well, I love driven. I think that.
Yeah,
like,
driven. And accomplished and.
Yeah, accomplished, driven, successful. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then their challenges that they've done everything. They don't know what else to do. Like they're just on the hamster wheel of achieving and trying to get their validation and their worthiness and because again, right, if I am what I do, when I don't, then I'm not. Wow.
Right? So the identity. Yeah, their identity comes from what they do instead of who they are.
Correct. Whether they're an athlete or whether they're an achiever.
Methodology. Yeah, your methodology is you think that you think it's your identity has been what you do, but actually we need to teach you that your identity is who you want to be, human doing versus human being. That's going to be part of your methodology. Yeah, good. And I think the frustration is, like you said, it's like, I can't keep working this hard at this pace and not seeing the results, but that's all that I've ever known, not seeing the fulfillment. And I also think of frustration is I watch everyone else and I'm pretty much the hardest worker that I know. They probably say that, right? I am the hardest working person I know, So why don't I have the results that I want in my life?
Yeah.
I bet they would say that a lot.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Bev.
That's great. I'm just taking lots of notes.
No, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know, it's so good. So should we practice with yours a little bit?
Well, one of the things, what I've been doing and what I'm finding is when I'm working with my Univera customers and clients, one of their big frustration is the same thing. They don't know what to do. They've been told, a million things about their health, and this week this is good for you, next week this, and they're confused. They don't know where to go. And again, I think that's a challenge, and what's the best for me, and so it's amazing when what is their frustration. A lot of it's their health issues. It's frustrating to them. And what I've just been really working on is kind of just getting from them, what are the problems? I worked with my niece last week, and she told me, she was having some back issues, blah, blah, blah. But when I really talked with her and worked with her, she told me she had rheumatoid arthritis and some other things. And I was like, I didn't know that, so it was just kind of getting to the root of the problem, what her fear is, what her challenges are, because she shows horses and she's having a lot of back issues with her arthritis because she's got to be up on a horse, that type of thing. So I think that's kind of what I've been working on. And I love to hear what Judy says and kind of just getting them in their alignment. And that's mostly what I've been, just the clients, a few I've been working with are just those ones in their health issues and just really finding out what those problems and their frustrations are.
I think you're bombarded with information.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if your people, something to be curious about, have they jumped from one plan to the other, have they tried everything, hoping to achieve something?
Right.
That's good languaging. That's really common with people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think they're afraid of?
I think, obviously the biggest thing that people are afraid of is having a long-lasting health issue, being, laid up, being, not being able to move, and, their quality of life, really. I think that's...
Maybe they're afraid of that they're never really going to solve their health problems.
Right.
Because I hear what you're saying, Bev, and the psychologist in me just knows, generally speaking, we wish people would care about 30 years down the road, but they just really care about right now.
Right.
So you can paint the picture for that of either you're worried you're never going to be able to resolve this health problem you have and it's going to be with you forever, or right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we what you just did there, Bev, is a great example of how easy it is to talk about what we know they need versus what they want.
Got it. Okay.
And I say that I come in peace. I say this in love, right?
Yes.
They don't live in that land. I don't think people are like, I just don't know if I can stay healthy the rest of my life. No, they're like, get this freaking arthritis to go away. And I've tried everything. And maybe they've tried medications and gone doctor shopping, and they're at their wit's end. They just don't know what else they can do. They feel,
they
and
just
write this
want
up,
to feel better.
They just tried it all, and you just want to feel better.
Right.
And you're willing to do what it takes, but nothing has worked.
Right.
You could say that would speak to their pride. There's people buy things based on lots of triggers and reasons, and one of them is they don't want to feel like they're really stupid. And so the power of what I just said there, Bev, is you're assuaging their ego, and you're like, and you've tried everything, and it's not your fault that you haven't been able to have success. You didn't know that the real culprit is And then Judy, what Bev has here really cool is her unique message is about blood sugar levels and regulating that. And so her blue ocean strategy is like, it's okay. You didn't know. You've tried to go low carb. You've tried to not eat this. You've tried to, fruits and berries. You've tried, this pill and that pill. But it's okay. You just didn't know. The solution is actually really simple, but you just didn't know. Because when you have a solution that's really, really simple, everybody, or we're saying like this one thing will change your life, we have to make sure we're messaging it in a way that says, but it's okay that you haven't known it, but you're not dumb that you didn't know it by now.
Right.
It's fascinating psychology to it.
Right. And that's in the talk that we're doing. That's one of the things we say is it's not your fault.
Great. There's psychology behind that.
It's your fault. It's, advertising and
you just didn't know. Yep. Good.
It's not your fault. You didn't know. Basically, that's
And Judy, you too, like it, and it's not your fault that you haven't achieved. You didn't know because everyone says just do. You didn't know until now that you're just you're 2 millimeters away. Mm-hmm. That will work for your people a lot, Judy, I think, because they're like, really, I cannot do, like, I've done it all, Judy. I do it. I'm a doer. So you just need a 2 millimeter shift, and the shift is alignment. And when you get in alignment, it supercharges everything else you do. And watch out, because then you truly will be unstoppable. That all that kind of wording like massages people's ego. And that's important. Okay, going back to you, Bev. I love where we're going here. We got some great ideas, right?
Yeah.
And you can even say, and I bet you're worried to throw money at just another plan.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Right? So you're like already talking about like what, because there's like, well, really, I got to go tell my husband, like, I'm on another $300 plan, right. But this one's really going to work. And so you say, it's okay. You're someone that's committed to your health, but you haven't been given the whole proper toolkit.
Right.
Okay.
Love that.
I think we nailed it. Yeah. Fears.
Yeah. Because that's what people are worried about, is just they keep spending money and nothing's working.
So it's so interesting, right? The problems aren't about what us coaches do. It's really like what they say. We're not yet there. We're going to get there with the false solution versus real solution and our messaging. Okay, aspirations. So most marketers stop. Sorry, you guys. Stop at. I'm going to have to train my dog to be an at-home entrepreneur. It's really annoying. Just like, oh, Ryan, can you take that, please? Okay. Put that in the business plan. Okay. Most marketers stop at problems. So here's all the problems, and here's my program, and I can help you. But we're missing the gold, which is aspirations. When you can speak to people's true dreams and aspirations and get in their heads and help them think in a way that they didn't even necessarily connect the dots, it's gold. So I'll give you an example. So if we stop at just the problems, okay, you're struggling, you're wondering, am I really ever going to make 6 figures? Am I really ever going to get my time back? I've got this program for you. So I could do that, or I could add in aspirations. But you've heard and you've dreamt about a life where you actually only work a couple days a week, making an income that really excites you. And imagine is a great word for aspirations. Imagine, right, being able to actually go on a couple vacations a year and your business doesn't fall apart when you leave. Imagine never having to worry about your aches and pains again and finally getting off the diet roller coaster and never having to Google the next new thing. Imagine, you could even put them in situations, Bev and Judy, that you imagine or you've heard that they dream of. Imagine slipping into the jeans and feeling comfortable in your own skin. Imagine not missing out on the special moments of your grandkids because you have the energy and vitality to be there, and not be there on the sidelines, but get in.
Oh,
So if you know what they want, aspirations are a lot. Storytelling really amps this up, and putting them in the situation. Imagine a client, as a business coach, imagine your clients calling you up and saying, thank you, because of your program, I now can blank, so you're doing what influencers do. Influencers teach you how to think about things. Influencers say things like, have you ever noticed, or have you ever wondered, or think of it this way, or here's what I've noticed. So Judy, yours might even be, and then I want to hear from you guys, but yours could be like, imagine getting to the end of your day, of a productive day, and feeling totally fulfilled. That you actually feel like what you did made a difference. That you moved out of the busy lane and were in the productive lane. That you weren't just successful, but you had significance. Oh, I'm on fire. That was pretty good, right?
That was good.
Sometimes I surprise myself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, once you start, when you can get them into alignment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like that. Yeah. Helping getting them, because the truth is, Bev, you don't know this about me, but I'm a nurse and I was a health coach first, and I was a diabetes educator for 7 years. Mm-hmm. But when I got really sick, I really had to use the power of vision, because I was like, I don't want to be like in a nursing home. I don't want to be this, like, I got a life to live. I got I want to be with my husband and my children and whatever. And so I had to use that, what you're talking about, that power of vision to like find answers and keep going and like find solutions. Because I imagined myself healthier, because I was like, I'm going to figure this out. I don't know what, but so you're right. It's very powerful.
I like that. Even bouncing off what you said for Bev, imagine you're at your goal weight. And the reason it's your goal weight is, that's the spot, the special spot where you finally feel comfortable in your skin and you feel empowered because you did it. Mm-hmm. And not only did you do it, but you know how to keep it around. And with confidence, it's not going away this time.
Yeah.
I mean, it just gives me goosebumps. Like that. When you could get in the heart of people's dreams and put them there, that is going to supercharge all of your messaging and your marketing. Okay, so let's pause there for a second. So what are some of their dreams, desires, and goals?
I know for me, some of the, again, I'm thinking of, using those stories, because that's one thing that we talk about, you want to use, is because, we talk about, for me, it's being healthy and being active and have lots of energy to be with my grandkids, and to be able to play with them. So I know a lot of people talk about, they just want to be healthy. Some of the people I've talked to, they would just like to not wake up in the middle of the night and have indigestion. They'd like to not, they'd like to be able to walk across the room. They'd like to not be on so much diabetic medication, or high blood pressure medication. It's getting off of stuff and getting on with life. That's
a good line. Getting off of stuff and getting on with life. So, I love it. And we can even rephrase things in the positive of not just what they don't want, but what they do want. So I'm going to give some examples from what you said. Imagine being pain-free and having the energy to run after the grandkids. Imagine waking up in the morning and saying to yourself, oh my gosh, my indigestion did not wake me up 5 times. Imagine waking up rested for the first time maybe in your life, or for as long as you can remember, ready to just slay the day.
Right.
You know, so good. So imagine something about those medications being gone, you know? Imagine looking in your medicine cabinet and there's like nothing there, because you're vibrant and you have energy and your body has healed itself because you've given it exactly what it needs. Imagine a day where you don't really even think about your health because you haven't had to. It's just there working for you now. You can't even believe that you haven't been thinking about your aches and pains and joint problems, because they're gone. So see, you're putting them in that new reality.
Right, right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, good. Okay, any questions about that or thoughts before we go on? Okay, here's where it gets really fun, I think, too. So the blue ocean strategy, do we all know what that is? It's okay, I think I've talked to you about it, but blue ocean, right, where if we have a red ocean, we have all the competition and it's bloody and that's where everyone is, and there's all these weight loss programs, all these mindset coaches, and there's all these, yeah. And you want to create your own blue ocean where you're in a marketplace of one. And one of the ways that we do that is we have to figure out, what do people think is the real problem? What do they think is the problem? And then we've got to help communicate what is actually the problem. So I'll give you examples, but also, what do they think the solution is? But what is really the solution? So I'll give you my example. You're barely making, you're finally making the 6 figures, and you want to move, or maybe you're not making 6. Let's start with the people that are. You've been at your business for a couple of years, you've been doing all things, and you think that if you just learned the new strategy, or if you could just become an online marketing guru and just knock that out of the ballpark, that you'll finally scale your business. But really, what you need to become a millionaire is to win the offline game first. That's just an example of like what they think they need to do, but what they really need to do. You think you just need another strategy, but actually what you need is mindset, because all strategy will fall limp if you do not have a mindset that believes you're worthy of the success that you desire. So you can jump from conference to conference, but in reality, you come home with the same brain. But what you really need is actual brain change, so that your best business partner is this brain up here. And when you really learn how to manage it in a way and train it to be a goal achieving machine, then any strategy you use will work. So it's this idea, like, you think you need strategy, but you need mindset. That's an example. Okay. So sometimes it's easy to reason kind of backwards. So what is my solution, and what is that then up against? What am I pushing back against? So I always knew, like, why are all these people saying to go and build this thing online when no one has money if they're starting out as a business owner? It just made sense to me to go and speak. And I was like over here making money speaking, which is free. I was like, why? So I could go against the grain. I could say, you're not one funnel away. You're one funnel away from bankruptcy. But we need to go and get you actually talking to humans and changing lives. And when you've scaled big enough, then you have money to grow your online and scale. But you are not one funnel away if you don't even know your messaging. So there's lots I could do with that, right? So it's speaking to like what they think is the solution, but actually you're the solution. This thing you've got is the real solution. So it's very powerful. Who wants to play first here?
I'm going to run and get my notebook because I didn't know that the stuff that I had written from our last session. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
But you go ahead.
Okay. So Bev, what do they think is the real problem? Is it like they need to eat less, or they must need to like eat less carbs, or they must, what are they thinking?
I
Calorie
think
restrict-
some of the people, especially with the diabetes and, the health issues that I've seen, a lot of people think the real problem is, well, it's genetic.
Oh.
My family was this way, so I'm this way, type of thing. And I think, that's part of what they think the problem is, and that, I think that's a big thing, that people think it's genetic. Oh, well, my mom was this way, so I'm this way,
Yeah. That's great. It's a great differentiator, especially, and you were saying especially with people that have diabetes or.
Well, any health issue,
Okay.
I know, I think I was telling you this the other day, that just like, I always felt that my mom's side of the family was heavier than my dad's side of the family. My mom always told me I was built just like her. I was thick. I was built just like her. It comes down to those beliefs again, and then when I kind of had that paradigm shift in my head, it was like, yeah, but my dad's side of the family are very small people. They're very petite people. And, it was like, I am part him too. So why can't I be like that side of the family? And when I started to make that shift in my mind, then that's when, the weight just started coming off. Not that I ever needed to lose that much more, but it was that shift in the mindset, so I think a lot of people, they have the belief that this is just the way it is.
That's going to be one of your secrets. We're going to teach you how to create like a signature speech, and it's in your signature messaging for all of us can be like the 3 secrets. And one of the secrets, I think, really needs to be the number one reason, the number one strategy to finally get the weight off once and for all, and it has nothing to do with what you eat. Or it has nothing to do with genetics.
Right.
Something like that. And then you set up your storytelling, and you set up like it's actually mindset. And then I can see you doing, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I can see, helping the audience look at like, when was the time when you actually decided something was going to be different, and then it was different. Like, Let me show you how the brain works. Look around the room right now and find all the red things. That's how your brain works. I wonder how I can get this weight off, and you get the weight off, and so that'll be really great part of your signature presentation.
Right. And that would transition too into like, I want to talk to golfers and, and also kind of go into that lane a little bit. And the same thing, it's the mind, the mindset is huge in that game. And it's the same thing, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
I mean, you can play around with like fat cells are actually non-discriminatory. They actually don't like interview you and say like, show me your mother. Like, no, they actually just behave how you tell them to behave. Like you could find some science about that, and then assuage their pride and ego and say, it's okay. You thought that was the story that you've adopted because you just didn't know. You
right.
Really
and this is a great book.
Was inherited.
This is a great book on that. The biology of belief. It's a great book.
The biology of belief.
Yeah.
Wow.
By Bruce Lipton. It's really good. And he talks about it he's a cellular geneticist or something, a biochemist. And he talks about the cells and how your cells, basically just what you were saying, your cells have energy and they absorb the energy around. It's kind of similar to what you were just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That your cells don't discriminate. You kind of.
Yep.
You're directing them.
Exactly.
Yes. They're not directing you. Yeah.
Right.
Directing them. You can direct them. Yes.
Right.
Love it.
Like Dr. Joe Dispenza's work too, right? That same beliefs and all of that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think for me, that's a lot of it, at least the people I've talked to, of course, I'm new in this arena and I haven't got a big clientele yet, but the people I have talked to, That's a lot of it. And I know a lot of my Hispanic clients, you know, diabetes is huge in that family history, you know, and it's not that it's really passed down, it's just been learned. And that's, you know, everything, like you say, it's just changing those habits, you know, that it
Yep.
is.
So they
But,
think
yeah.
it's cultural.
Right, right.
Yes. And you can say, and a little bit of it can be, and like you might be able to say something about the data kind of says, yeah, the scale's tipping that way, so to speak. And good news, it doesn't have the final say. Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah, you could use this, Bev. So I used to get a lot of clients and they'd say, oh, I'm a bad diabetic. And I was like, well, as long as you keep telling yourself you're a bad diabetic, you are going to be a bad diabetic.
Right, right.
And that the truth is that, you know, it's a lifestyle disease. And the reason that it seems genetic and that it runs in families is because that's how you learn to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody eats that same way. So of course it seems like it's genetic, but no, it's learned.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
A lot. It's just how you've learned it. And of course it seems like it's that way. Again, that's that. It's not your fault. Of course it seems like that. And I'm here to share the good news. Yeah, that we can learn different. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Thank you, Judy.
Yeah, thanks. That's great.
Be on the lookout, just in the future, be on the lookout if they say things like, if your people are saying I must calorie restrict. That's, you know, they think they need to like be lowering calories, because that would be I think that's a common one for health and wellness industry. Or if they say like, oh, I must just need to like not eat carbs, just be on the lookout for those, because you might have something in your solution that can be the real solution.
Okay.
Okay. I must need to eat less. No, actually you need to eat. It's not about eating less. It's about eating different, the right foods that function, you know, whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Judy.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
was writing some stuff, but if I did know.
Such a coaching thing.
Yes, if I did know.
That's a realtor thing too. You should have known. I hated that when I was in.
Oh,
should have known.
No. It's just sort of like, I'm going to be curious. I don't know, but if I did know, what were we talking about?
And what they've already tried, and what they think is the problem is they just think they haven't done enough of the thing or the right thing. They must not have done enough.
Yeah. What do they think is the problem, and what is the real problem? What do they think is the problem?
Do they
I think
enough?
I think by the time they get to me, they do know the problem is them. Like they're not in some delusional world. Like they know that it's them, and they don't know, like they don't know how to change. Like I don't even know how to say that, but they know that, and it's back to that identity piece, right? So they start, like they're waking up to the fact that like, oh, I'm creating all of this in my life. I'm like, they had all these wake up calls, and now they're like, oh, I'm the creator of my reality. I get what they're saying. I got to change my beliefs. I don't know how to do that because I hate my body. I hate myself. I have like, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. So I'm just going to keep achieving so that somebody out there will tell me how good I am because I'm not good enough. And so they think so somewhere the problem is that they don't know how to navigate any of that, right? They know they are the problem. They're emotionally eating, overeating, over drinking, overspending, whatever they're doing, and they're trying to achieve. Like they're just all in that, all that. And I think the real, so they know that they're the problem and they have no idea where to start. They're just like, so they do affirmations, they're trying to read positive psychology. They're like doing all this stuff. And then they're like, it doesn't really, it works, but not really. Like, I still feel like shit.
Yep. That's really good. Okay, good. That's really good.
Right. Yep. So, but the real problem is they didn't know. I mean, I didn't know that I could choose new thoughts. I was like, those 60 thoughts, they're me. They're in my head. They must be me. Like, right. I got to believe them all.
Know how to actually change my brain.
Right.
It's like they know the thoughts that are bombarding them. They're like, yeah, I've been hanging out with these for a while.
Yes.
I love what you said. Like, I've tried to change them by reading more and learning, positive self-help.
Yeah. Going to training thing, going to these.
But they didn't actually know how to rewire and change their brain.
Right.
From inside out. And I like that. Also, what they really need is to fill the hole in their soul.
Yes. Yeah.
And they think the real problem is they can somehow earn their worth or self-confidence somehow by doing more or getting more approval.
Right.
But what
because the hole in their soul has to do with some trauma that happened to them, some old wounding, parent wound, divorce, somebody bullied them at school, whatever. Somewhere along the line, they weren't worthy enough. And so
they've done what any smart brain would do. Here's where
I gotta go achieve and get my worthiness out there.
Like how brilliant of the brain to solve that problem, but it's got this a problem comes with that. Yeah. Just a second. I think part of your false solution, real solution can be also they think the solution's going to come from outside of them.
Yeah.
And then you list more awards, more achievements, doing more, getting approval from others, accolades, but the real solution comes from within.
Yeah.
That's there it is.
Yeah.
Bev?
Because they have to keep, because the problem is because the truth is you get all that validation and you don't believe it.
Yep.
You can't receive it because it's not enough.
Yep.
And it's never going to be enough, and you're just going to constantly be chasing the next thing. But until you can actually, you got to own your own worth. And yeah, nobody told us how to do that. No one taught us how to use our mind or change our thoughts or navigate our nervous system or heal our old stories. Like no one taught us any of that.
Ooh, there's so much meat in this call. So good. You got it. This is so good. So play around with this, you guys. Play around with this in your head. Play around it with when you're networking. Play around with having these kind of conversational tones to what you're saying. So what do you do, Bev? Well, I help people with their health, but really, I work with a lot of people who say things like this. They say, Bev, can I really get off the yo-yo? Can I really be healthy? Maybe it's just in my genes. And I show them a different way. And they realize after working with me that it had nothing to do with their genetic, makeup, that it had to do with their decisions up here. So I help them create new decisions and the weight just drops off. Like you just play around with, that's not what it has to be, but play around with like conversational tone of this kind of storytelling of how you might answer now of what do you do? Like play around with, if I took the words away from you that you could not say, I am a health coach or I am a mindset coach. If I, no, you cannot say those words. Like what else would you say? Play around with that idea.
Right. Because that's, I've that's always, I've kind of been working on that because that's just it. It's not, I know you have to say it's not what I do, it's who I am and that type of stuff. But, and again, how do you help people with that? Not just say, because the same thing. If you just say, I'm going into coaching. I'm going to be a health coach. People go,
Yep.
they give me the eye roll, like, oh.
Well, they don't even know what that is. They're like,
we're like, cool.
Yeah.
Or see how this messaging is just fire, right? It's like, what do you do, Judy? Well, I help really high achieving people that have gotten all the awards and they're still feeling empty. They're like, is this all there is? And I help them figure out how to truly feel accomplished and and truly feel like I have done what I've come here to do. And how the heck? And people are gonna be like, how the heck do you do that? Right. Oh, I have my whole methodology that we can talk about sometime. We don't have enough time to talk about that all right here at this luncheon, but I'd be happy to walk you through how I do that. Let's schedule a call,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good. So how are we feeling? Are we feeling good about today's call? Are we feeling complete? I think we went over a lot here. Anything else?
So I have a question. So I know if you're doing a talk at an organization, you've got, I don't want to say a captive audience, but everybody from the organization, you're doing it at their luncheon or whatever, you're going to have people there. What about when you're doing something, when you just, you want to give a talk, you want to do, and you're inviting people to come? I mean, what's the best way? Because you're talking about, you talked earlier about the Facebook ads, you don't want to be throwing money out when you're trying to make money. So what's the best way to kind of fill the room, get butts in the seat? Is it just one-on-one, emailing people? What would you suggest?
I want your opinion too, Judy, but
yeah.
I am a big, big believer in actually talking to humans
Mm-hmm.
until we're big enough where we can scale. And that means having a big enough email list or having enough base where you could just put an ad out and get 10% and fill a room. Now you can imagine that you're going to need thousands and thousands of loyal fans who love you and follow you. And so, yes, to get butt in a seat, I believe requires you personally inviting them. That is the number one reason people came to my first events. And I'm not scaled enough to not be able to do that.
Right.
For every 150 person, I would say I personally invited 143 of them. I mean, there was only a couple that I hadn't personally, and they all came back to me and said, I was thinking about coming, but when you reached out, I was like, there. And I said, I really want you there. I'm sharing some really exciting stuff and I'm excited about it. I was really, really, I think you're really going to enjoy it. So I had confidence and I had this posture of like, I think you're going to love it. I want you there. So I was kind of bold, right?
Right.
I don't know if that feels bold, but it did at the time to me. And I was, and.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So your first talk was, so were you trying to just find entrepreneurs, business people, or what was your first, what did you?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I was talking about my first live event, but my first talks were, I think I did 43 talks in my first year, and they were all to the things we were just talking about, all the networking groups. And I basically just had the same signature talk that I just did. I just did the circuit. And so we talked about that at the beginning of the call, just reaching out to who's in charge of booking outside speakers or saying, hey, I would love the opportunity to chat with you about adding massive value to your organization. I would love to share with you what I do. I think I could add value to your, if you'd be open to discussing that with me. But you, Bev, yeah, you're probably talking a lot about just these workshops you're going to be doing, wash, rinse, repeat, right?
Right.
And I highly suggest you and your partner create kind of a signature wash, rinse, and repeat because you don't want to create new things all the time, right?
Right.
And yeah, just start inviting people. And then in addition to that, but all of your social media posts and branding from here on out is really around this client needs matrix. So you're going to pick topics to talk about that you become known as this expert in this area, that you're constantly what can we think of to talk about in this matrix so that you become the go-to, top of mind. Oh, that's what Bev does. Oh, and now Bev's having this, 2-hour workshop. Oh, of course, I've been watching and reading and listening to what she's posting.
Right.
Now that we have this framework, that's the content. That's the lane you want to stay in.
Okay. And I think for me, and we can talk about this on another call, it doesn't have to be now, is also switching, because people know me in the wine business. I'm the wine lady, and I'm making this pivot, I'm making this turn. And so I think that's something, like I say on another call or something, I would love to talk to you about, is because I'm having a hard time getting myself to go out there and kind of put this out there, because it is a pivot, it's a change. And so posting those things on social media and doing that, and people are going to be kind of like, what, type of thing. So
Judy, you're chomp.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you, you guys have a minute. I'll tell you a quick story. So she wasn't even a client, but she called me out of desperation. And this was when I should have had her been a client, but she owned brick and mortar stores. She was a interior designer for years. And then she owned a consignment clothing store, right? In this community, she ran these stores for 15 years. She also had she became a realtor, and they were doing flips and rental property, right? But she owned the store. So she finally sold the store and wanted to go to real estate full time. She called me. She didn't have one penny for 11 months. She didn't make $1, nothing. She wouldn't even say anything to anybody about, she wouldn't call. She had all of these people that loved her and trusted her, right? So she called me and she's like, I don't know how to pivot. Now I'm trying to ask people how can they trust me to sell houses and whatever. And so I said to her, and you can do this, Bev, for yourself. I said to her, what did you do? What did you love about what you do? Oh, I was really good with numbers, and I was really good about helping people see the vision of their decorating thing, and that these clothes could really, oh, look at this, is look really great on you, right? And so, but she was really good with numbers because her businesses were always successful. I'm like, well, take that, and that's how you're going to help people with real estate when they're like, I don't know if this is the right house for me. I don't know if I can afford this house. I don't know if I can do that. And you know what? Literally, the next day she started reaching out, and then her and her husband, they both they started a brokerage. They were this most successful. I had one conversation with her. Again, Erin, the magic.
The magic.
But I tell you what,
the magic.
She always tells everybody. She tells everybody about she goes. She doesn't say it was one conversation, but she tells everybody oh my gosh, you have to work with Coach Judy because she will change your life. So, but she just didn't have the confidence. I said, you got to believe in your own belief of all that other stuff that you did.
Right.
So I like Judy's framework. It's your credibility comes from the perspective you give people and the speed. People will pay you for perspective and speed. Right. And so what Judy's saying is look in your life, and this is true. You can say for the last 13 years, whatever you were in wine business, I have been a developer of people. I've trained people how to be leaders, I've
educated them.
Yes. Yes. So look at that skill set and you say, and this is why I'm so excited to be introducing to you, you've got the beauty of novelty. It feels bad, but you've got the beauty in marketing of saying, so I have gathered all of that experience and put it into this thing that I'm calling
your passion project. Now you have a passion project.
So the beauty is the thing that you think is your weakness is actually a beautiful thing. But I remember that too. I'm like, so I just say I'm a coach? And people are like, you've been a coach. I'm like, I just say I'm a coach? I've been a psychologist my whole life. They're like, hello, you know how to help people train their brain. I'm like, oh, but it felt so bizarre too. So we make it in our head of but this new thing. But so you look and say, oh my gosh, I just realized I've been helping people develop themselves and create massive success in their lives, in their business and their health for 13 years now. I am so excited to be introducing my new program, or I want to tell you about it. Like, so I want you to think exactly what Judy's saying. Like, you have been developing for such a time as this. We just need your brain to realize, oh, that's how we think of it.
Okay. No, I love that. Thank you, Judy. That was great because that was, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really easy to get stuck in there. I was the same. I was like, I'm a nurse. Wait, I'm a health coach. Like, wait, I'm a nurse. Like Aaron, I was a psychologist and now I'm doing coaching.
Yep. And you can tell stories too, Bev. Like, I've just been one of those women that have gone to all the personal development conferences. I eat it up. I just live for this stuff. If you saw my bookshelf, I am.
If you saw my bookshelf.
It's like, I know. So you say, so I've put in all of that knowledge and all of my experience in being a businesswoman, a developer of people, and creating my own program, you know. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Cool. Great.
Oh, this is fun. You know, I just have to tell you guys, you just have to witness this. Like, it's been 3 years and you two are the first that's been really like, this was my dream client. Like, this was my dream call. Like, I really haven't had one. I've done lots of programs to figure out what I love, what I don't, who are my right clients, who aren't. And it's like, I just say that because you just can never give up because it's like so fun when you get there. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I love it. I love it you say that because there's the 4 women there were 5, but now 4 because one she just needed to drop out. But like every call, there's like breakthroughs and tears and like healing and like it's just so profound.
It's so
and I'm
fun.
like, this is what I meant to do. Like,
and somehow like, and that you're in the same position or same struggle, same area of growth, it just makes it so wonderful. So just know that this system is exactly what got me here. This system is going to change everything. I mean, really, no one was really teaching this. Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you in a couple weeks, and if not beforehand for individual, and I'll see you in the Facebook group or Voxer, wherever you need me.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great.
Bye.
Bye, Bev. Nice to meet you.
I'll send you the recording.
Thank you, Aaron.
Bye. You're welcome.